様ごきげんよう、メイド水木の、ちょっと待って。皆様ごきげんよう、メイド水木のやってる配信までようこそいらっしゃいました。Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome students to class. I am so sorry. I did it again. I somehow thought that I changed my screen and I forgot. いやもうなんか配信3年目なんですけど、普通に忘れてました。シーン変更みたいな。始めてると思って2分くらい話してたですけど独り言になってましたね。Yeah, that was embarrassing. I was talking to myself for 2 minutes without even realizing. But thank you so much for being here and welcome. Time Tutorial Sunday ですand welcome. ようこそいらっしゃいました。Alright. I am hoping that you all can hear me. ちゃんと聞こえてるかな？ Sorry, and I'm gonna drink some water. Okay, there we go. テレフィナさんのごきげんよう、ようこそ。イエーイということでね、随分と時間経ってしまいまして申し訳ないです。ハッピーさん Have a good session, everybody. Thank you for joining and you too. はい、ということでね、ちょっとね、喉が痛いんですけど、普通に昨日叫びすぎたせいでしょうね。I have a bit of a sore throat, but I'm pretty sure it's because of all the screaming that happened yesterday. お恥ずかしいばかりで。ということで、こちらの配信なんですけれども、私が主催しております言語学習チャレンジのフォローアップ配信となっております。So this stream is a follow-up stream for a language study challenge that I am hosting. It is called Study with Mizuki 2025, and you're supposed to try to memorize 1,000 new Japanese words or 1,000 new whatever language words that you're studying, or try to pass a certain exam. Or in other words, JLPT. エコーかかってます。Wait, no. 本当に？待って、やばい。エコーかかってる。Okay, sorry. リバーブかかってました。Oh no! I was so ready for a karaoke stream. ごめんなさい。歌枠の準備をね、してたのがバレましたね。いや、明日1万人耐久配信をするかしないかまだちょっとどうしようって思ってるところなんですけど、ちょっとね、耐久配信って何すればいいんだろうって思って、カラータイルするかなって思ったりしたんですけど、雑談もちょっとなって思って、なんか VTuber といえば歌かなって思ってね、上手い下手は置いといて楽しもうと思い、歌枠の準備をしておりました。I'm sorry, that was embarrassing, but as you know, I'm getting pretty close, fairly close to reaching 10k, and so I might be able to do a stream where I try to, hit 10k subscribers with you all. And I was thinking of what to do. I thought about doing color tiles again, because that's my specialty, right? Where I thought about doing a zatsu, but then I thought that I should do something a little bit more eccentric, and to me that's singing. So karaoke stream there is. So yeah, I was trying to prepare for it. But we'll see what happens. Where am I at now? I think there was only a few new subscribers from this morning. 多分ね、本日お昼間くらいからはもう2、3人くらいね、新しい視聴者様っていうか、新しい方、チャンネル登録者様が増えてるんですけど、どうなるかな。100人は辛いから30人くらいでしたいけど、そんなうまくいくわけもない。It's so hard to determine what time I'm supposed to do it, But yeah, it will most likely happen tomorrow around lunchtime. 多分ね、明日のお昼休み頃にするんじゃないかなと思います。もうちょっとわかんない。今から待機所作りたい気持ちと、いやでもまだわかんないっていう気持ちがちょっと行ったり来たりしてるので、ちょっとね、確定ができないのは申し訳ないんですけど、I'm debating a lot. I'm debating whether to just already set up the stream for tomorrow, or just check tomorrow morning what's gonna happen, because we don't have any control over numbers in this case. どれだけの方がチャンネル登録してくださるかみたいなのまだちょっとわからないからね。 So we'll see. Okay, so this is a follow-up stream. In other words, there's going to be 3 parts on this stream. The first part is going to be me showcasing all of your posts, and then answering all the questions that you have asked from your posts, and then in the end doing a Q&A session or proofreading. ということで、こちらの配信はですね、3部に分かれております。最初に皆様が投稿してくださったものを紹介して、それと同時並行と言います。同時進行ってわけではないんですけれども、その後皆様のね、ご質問とかに答えていこうと思います。投稿してくださったものですね。その後第3部的な感じで、一応メインパートになるのかなわかんないんですけど、皆様がもし、言語学習において何かご質問があった場合、そちらのパートで聞いていただければと思います。それだけではなくて、皆様のね、1週間、2週間、ちょっと今回ね、3週間ほどかかってしまいましたが、その間で少しでも、やってきたよみたいな、こういう勉強してきたよっていうのがあれば、例えば、新しく学んだ文法を使って文章を作ってみた。添削してくださいみたいなのも全然ありですので、ぜひこちらの時間を活用していただければと思います。Oh yay! Any questions so far? You all good? Again, if you have any questions, I'll be responding to as many of them, or most likely like all of them, at the third part of this stream. So stay tuned. It will probably happen in like 45 minutes to an hour. Okay. ではね、早速ですけれども、without further ado, I guess we ought to start. How do I do this? Window capture. これかな? Okay! There we go! これをちょっと待って、消して。Okay, so we will be looking at all of your posts. 皆様のね、ポストをこうやって見ていこうと思います。ここからかな。はい。あれ同じのが出てきたぞ。Okay! Oops, sorry. I bumped in. ということで、うそみさんです。ありがとうございます。Thank you so much. I'll be proofreading where I'll be going through all Japanese learning posts and English learning posts because those two are my specialty, I guess. In a sense. はい。ということで、はい。76日シンスがよく使われるので、例文からなんとなく効果も使われるような気がして習ってました。ごめんなさい。これ私の口癖みたいなものでして、なんかね、もっと他のいろんな言い回しを使えばいいんですけれども、何しろ例文を作ったのがね、私なので、シンスってめちゃくちゃ使ってしまうんですよね。なんか because って使いすぎたら、なんかちょっと、なんて言うんだろう、子供らしいと言いますか、みたいな、ね、感じになっちゃうかなって思ったら逆にセンスを多用してしまうっていうね、良くないですね。セラさんこんばんは、ようこそ。こちらも多分日本語でもよく言われるんじゃないかなと思うんですけれども、作文したりね、何か書き物をしたりするときって、同じような言い回しが続くと良くないみたいなね。なんで、いろんな言い回しと言いますか、いろんな言い方をする方がいいとは思うんですけれども、私、何にせ、初めて渡米したとき、because をめちゃくちゃ多用してしまっていて、それを見かねたね、教授とかじゃなくて、なんていうんだろう、なんかね、同じ大学の生徒が、添削を、そういう専攻の生徒が、添削をね、自分の書いたものを添削してくれる、みたいなところがあったりするんですけれども、そこでちょっとね、いろいろ注意されて、頑張って直した結果、なぜか逆にセンスを多用してしまうようになったって良くない傾向がね、あります。フェルディアさん、good morning. うそみさん did point out that I use a lot of the word since in my example sentences, and that's totally on me. This has happened because when it happened because of how when I moved to the States for the first time, that was when I started uni, and you know, I realized and other people realized that I used to use a lot of because in my papers, and we all know how bad that is. It just doesn't sound professional, and so like I tried to fix it and it worked, but I somehow started using a lot of sinces in my sentences, and so maybe it is time for me to try to upgrade my English as well. ということでね、まだまだ英文を作るのは難しいですが、ほんのちょびっとだけ成長を感じた気がします。素晴らしいですね。はい。半年が経ちました。半年が経ってしまいました。ね。Okay, next. Not to you, son. Thank you for your post. Day 120. Day 120. We're like, we are probably past our halfway mark, aren't we? 多分半分マーク済みましたわよね。Day 120 of learning Japanese. Had to take 2 days off break because work was getting even busier, but I managed to slip some study today. I'm so proud of you. 暑い？暑くない。今日は何曜日？今日は火曜日。どんな食べ物が嫌い？野菜が入った食べ物が嫌い。野菜食べなさい。たけしさんはメアリーさんが好きだと思います。Scandalous. I think Takeshi likes Mary. Ooh, we all love stuff. 私はメアリーさんはたけしさんが好きじゃないと思います。More scandalous. ちょっと待って。なんですって？たけしさんはメアリーさんが好きだけど、メアリーさんはたけしさんが好きじゃないですって？はい。Okay. Scandy. Oh well. Those are great examples. You know, one thing that I used to do with students that I had who were a lot younger in age, which I believe can be pretty beneficial for people in any ages, was to make them make stories using the new words that I taught. And when I say young kids, like young students, I mean kids, like, you know, in kindergarten and elementary school, but I always tell you to try to use the new grammar or the new words that you learn, the new vocabulary that you learn, right? But then it gets really hard when you just try to make one sentence or two sentences when you don't really have something bigger of a goal, I guess. And so it's really nice to have a task-based homework or task-based practice. And trying to make a little story out of the words or the grammar points that you've learned I think is an amazing way of trying to do the output, trying to like come up with something, trying to express yourself even. In this case, I don't know if this will be, I think it's a pretty good story about Takeshi-san and Mary-san's love story, but anyways, like the point of it is that I think things like this is extremely helpful.はい、ということでね、私、いろんな年齢の方を教えた経験が実はございまして、幼稚園だったり小学生とかにね、教えることも過去あったんですけれども、その時よくね、だったら今日習った言葉を使って、お話を作ってみようみたいな活動をね、してたんですわよね。もちろんなんかちっちゃい子たちとかだったらトマトさんとジャガイモさんがいましたみたいなそういう感じではあったんですけれども、こういう感じでね、たけしさんはメアリーさんが好きだと思いますがメアリーさんはたけしさんが好きじゃないと思いますみたいな感じで、少しでもインパクトのあるストーリー性があるないっていうよりも、なんか別にストーリーを作る必要はないんですよね。ただ何か流れを作るっていうのはすごくいいことだと思います。So yeah, the point is to like try to make a flow, like not just make one sentence, but make a flow of sentences that would make sense when it's read together. Because that is what you usually do when you use a language, when you try to communicate with others. So good job, not to use them. Listen out, Takeshi and Mary makes a little story. Oh my gosh. What's going on? Not talk. Okay, there we go. I think it is important to always have ways of practicing sentences to make a flow. Hope that makes sense. Okay, I definitely need a new keyboard. でも本当に新しいキーボード欲しい。Okay, Thank you so much. Next, Kaga-san, not to you-san, Usomi-san has been the most consistent people, I believe. Thank you so much. はい、ということで、かがさん、書きます。彼は手紙を書きます。書かない。彼は手紙を書かない。So, this way of practices is considered a repetition, like repeating. And repetition is always very important as well. 書きます。かがさんやっぱり字綺麗になってきてますわよね。もともと汚いわけじゃなかった。本当にもともと整ってたとは思うんですけど、より日本語っぽくなってると思う。Still doing my best. You're doing so good and thank you so much for joining. One thing that I do realize, like I know I said this last time too, but Kaga-san, I realized that Kaga-san's handwriting is getting like better. Kaga-san always had pretty good handwriting, I believe, but it's looking more Japanese. I don't know if that makes sense, but like the balancing, because you know, Japanese letters, hiragana, katakana, kanji, all of them, it's really hard to get the balance right because of how different the alphabets are, the letters are. And I see that the balancing of those lines are getting a lot more natural. And it's really hard to like explain, for example, how, but for like, if I get to point things out, I would say things like, you know, the little, going up here on ki, or, the balance between the top part and the bottom part of the ito-hen, this part of the kanji, this, oh shit, I totally forgot the word, brain fart moment. What's the part of a kanji called? What's the part of a kanji called? Bush って英語でなんて言うんだっけ? Radical, got it. The radical and stuff. いや、そう、なんか、加賀さんの文字見てて、もともと字とっても綺麗だったとは思うんですけれども、バランスがどんどん綺麗になってるなと思います。この、ひらがなのね、例えば木のこの羽のところだったり、この糸辺の上下のサイズのバランスみたいなところがね、素敵だと思います。Love seeing the progress in your handwriting. Writing too. I see the balancing of the lines. Gosh, balancing. The lines are a lot more natural. Great job. 素晴らしい。素晴らしいです。Amazing, absolutely amazing. Next. あ、加賀さんね。来る。母は来ます。彼は来ない。来てください。ね。I don't know if Kaga-san's here, but if you are here or if you're watching the VOD, I hope you know that you being able to conjugate all of the verbs that you're learning in such natural ways, it's amazing. I don't see any grammar errors. すごい。日本語って動詞の活用がすごく難しい言語なんですよね。我々日本人はあまり意識してないと思うんですけれども、動詞の活用がね、40とか平気であるの。40とか50とか平気であるの。何をもって一種類と定義するかにもよるんですけれども、なんで、来るっていう普通形が、来ますっていうマス形になるっていうのだけでも難しいのに、来てください、来ようって、まず、くっていう漢字がこっていう読み方に変わるとかね、そういう時点ですごい難しいのに、どんどんなんかナチュラルにできてるのかなと思います。素晴らしいですね。はい、アブセンコーダーさん、welcome。はい、OK。next、うそみさん、怖いと調べてみたら、かなり結構、まあまあと意味の幅が広くて目が点になってしまいました。quite good。かなり quite nice。まあまあいいって説明が出てきたのですが、本当ですか？そもそも good と nice などっちもいいねって程度の認識しか難しいですわね。OK, everybody, English speakers. うそみさん here has a question. Ajitaさん、hi, welcome. The English word quite that seems to be a really hard thing for us Japanese people to comprehend. I used to have this exact same problem with the word too. Like quite is has such different meanings depending on the word that it gets combined with, doesn't it? Like quite good is like really good, and quite nice is like, yeah, it's nice. It's not like as good as quite good. And so like what? So the question I guess is like good and nice. What is the difference between these two? If you could like let us know in the comments, we would really appreciate it. I don't think I can even explain the difference. I can like kind of sense that good is better than nice, but at the same time, they're not necessarily always used in the same manner, you know? Sometimes good is better than nice, and then like sometimes nice is better than good. Like you wouldn't call food nice, you know? But you would call an establishment nice. But then if I said something like, just say that I went on a wedding dress shopping with a friend that is getting married, like I wouldn't tell her that the dress looks good. I would like, it looks good on you, it looks nice. I feel like in this sense, nice feels a little bit more positive than good, or I don't know. Use them interchangeably. Keep those linguists on their toes. Yeah, that's what we like to do. I don't really get the nuance either. It's easier to feel than explain, sorry. Okay, I think about how it is used in IRL conversation, and it depends so much on the tone of voice and context. Oh my gosh, but you're so right. Tone of voice and context. Tone of voice. I think we always like forget to consider how the different tones of voices changes the meanings of things, don't we? Because we can't really read that on paper, so I think good is for quality, while nice is for something pleasant. Oh, I like that explanation. But yeah, quite is such an interesting word. It is so interesting. Like it does, like what Usomi-san is saying is so true. It has so many different meanings to it. It can be like a lot. It can be, you know, it can mean like, depending on how it is used, it can mean like 80%, it can be like 70%, and sometimes it can feel like it can mean 50%. So interesting. But I think I'm gonna answer Usomi-san's post with not to use sans explanation, because I think that makes a pretty good, I think that does make sense. Wait.難しいですわ。トランで、good と nice の違いを聞いてみました。一番納得のいく答えが good。グッドが、what was good? クオリティ、ナイスが快適さであったり、雰囲気の良さみたいなニュアンスがあるでした。でも日本語でも 大丈夫。全然ダメ。と、ポジティブも、ネガティブ。Sorry, I'm taking a while too. にも、ことがあると、かな？ Okay. No! I wrote way too much. どうしよう。I'm gonna delete this part. Okay. Alright. So, this did remind me though. In Japanese, we have this word zenzen. Zenzen means like at all. It's really hard to explain it, but for example, people would say something like 全然元気じゃない I'm not genki at all, or 全然ダメ It's like so awful. And so a lot of people do think that this word is used negatively, but in recent days, like in the modern days, we often use it with a quite of a positive. You can also pair it with a really positive tone of words too. For example, 全然大丈夫 I am so okay. Or 全然いける Like, I can totally go for it. And so I'm guessing quite is kind of similar in that sense to zenzen. Like, not in the term of meanings, but the usage and like how it can be used. 日本語でもね、全然って、全然ダメとか全然大丈夫ってポジティブにもネガティブにもなる言葉があるのと同じように、一緒にどういう言葉とペアするかによって意味が変わっちゃうっていうのはそういうことかもしれないですね。ちなみに全然がポジティブに使われるようになったのは別に最近のことではなくて、明治大正の文豪の方々もなど使われているようですよ。面白いですわよね。私も最近なんかギャルっぽい言葉なのかなって思ったらそういうことはなかったってことでした。次 Next Day 121 of learning Japanese 121 Oh, I've learned about Zenzen, but I didn't know about it. Yes, I believe that it is often said to be paired with some negative words, but can also be used for positive. And I just explained this in Japanese, so sorry for those who are listening to this for the second time, but it is surprisingly not a modern way of using it. A lot of people do think that it is a modern way and not necessarily a correct way of using zenzen when you pair it with some like positive words. But surprisingly, if you look at old like classics. Oh my gosh, Kai-san! Thank you so much for the super chat. スパチャありがとうございます。Good luck! And it's a Shiba! 柴犬だかわいい Thank you! Nice スパです But yes. What was it? Oh yeah, like classical novel writers, authors from the old days, like, the 夏目漱石、太宰治 type of old. They even used that way of using zenzen in their literature, and so it's not necessarily a modern way of using it. I need to look more deeper in it to like really explain to you how it might be used or how it like changed in the course of history, but that is one thing I do know. Hi. And Bud TV-san, welcome. Hi, I just wanted to pop by and say hi. I know you're doing the activity report, so I won't bother you. I hope your day was well. Thank you. It is actually a post follow-up, but yeah, in a sense, it is like activity report for all of you. はい、ということでね。そう、明日は雨が降ると思います。来週は忙しいと思います。これはと思いますですね。I can see that you're practicing と思います。I think, I reckon. そう。週末勉強すると思います。と言っていました。Yes, they said. と言っていました。やすみんさんは明日試験があると言っていました。山下先生は結婚してないと言ってました。Is that true? The sticker is in English here. It was Japanese when I used it somewhere else. So this is an English channel? I wonder. I don't know. Is my channel in English? I think it might be it. Like, I think it might be in English. I don't really remember, like, how I set it up. Hi. Good job, Matthew-san. と思います. By the way, と思います can also be used in business settings. Maybe not, like, excessively, but, you know, in Japanese, it is considered nice not to be straightforward. I know. I think that's one of the biggest cultural differences between, like, just say the States, the United States of America, and Japan. I know that not all of you are from the States, but I think it's a pretty easy comparison to make. But, you know, if you say something like, I think we should do this, rather than saying, we should do this in English, it just sounds like you are not confident enough. But in Japanese, if you say something like, we should do this, especially if you're just a part of a bigger team, it might sound like you are being a little bit too prideful or like bossy. I know, very different culture. So we often use this と思います I think と考えています this is what I'm thinking type of grammar to, in a way, to like wrap our words in a blanket so that it doesn't come off too harsh. And that is considered nice. That is considered the standard. And so again, different cultures, different language usage. そう、ちなみになんですけれども、こちらのと思いますですね。我々日本人、例えばビジネスの場とかでもよく使うと思うんですよね。私もメールとか送ってアイデアとかをね、提示するときに、私はこうだと思いますと考えておりますとかって言うんですけれども、これがね、文化の違いってやつでして、例えば英語圏、特にアメリカみたいな国でと思います。I think っていうのを多用してると、なんか、自信がなさすぎる人みたいな感じになっちゃうんですよね。なので逆にしっかりストレートとこうですやりましょうみたいな風に言うのがいいっていう文化の違いもございます。だから言語って難しい。だから言語って面白いですね。はい。That was scary part when I went to Kyoto. How am I supposed to know what you mean when you're going to roundabout way? You know what? You just have to get used to it. It all lies in the nuance. You get used to it and you'll actually understand things. Yeah, but I think that is one of the biggest reasons why a lot of things do get lost in translation. For us Japanese, we just don't want to be rude. Like, the bottom line of things is to be nice, is to make sure that the other person feels comfortable, right? And so if we don't do that, if we don't express ourselves in a roundabout way, you just come off rude. And so when people are trying to be extra nice, especially to like customers, just say that you are going there as a tourist, you know, they might just try to say it even more roundabout, just to be extra nice. So I wonder what we can do better about that. はい。ということで、ありがとうございます。次。はい。うさみさんです。バイクというと日本語的にはオートバイを連想しますが、英語でバイクは自転車のことですね。そうなんですよ。一瞬頭が混乱しそうです。アパートとかマンションも日本語と英語では規模が違うと言います。そうなんですよ。バイリンガルの方って混乱しないのでしょうか。これはあれですね。和製英語に近いようなものがありますね。和製っていうわけじゃないですけれども、日本で使う際の英単語が元々の言語の英単語と同じ意味にならない場合とかもあるんですよね。これ正直、日本語が他の国で使われている際にも同じようなことが起こってると思います。It's cold outside today, isn't it? I'm busy today. Go home. Welcome to the city of Kyoto. It's not like that bad, don't worry. I have relatives in Kyoto. The only person who was actually mean was my great-grandmother. She was like really mean. She was a princess. No, she always required princess treatment because she was pretty. She won like those pageant stuff in her youth, and then she decided that is how she wanted to be treated. But normal people aren't like that, so you're good. Hi. Okay, Usomi-san here is confused. When you say bike in Japanese, we mean motorcycle. Because bicycles are different. Bicycles are 自転車 or チャリ. But if you say bike, you know, in English, it sounds like you're talking about bicycles, not a motorcycle, right? And then comes the infamous apartment and mansion. In Japanese, when you say mansion, it means a bigger apartment, like a townhouse type. Not always a townhouse, but a little bit bigger, probably with a lot more security. Apartments are cheaper apartments. Apato is a cheaper type of apartment. I would say usually only like 2 or 3 stories tall. When you live in a mansion, you usually live in a building that is probably a little bit higher than 3 stories, or just 2. But so yeah. But I also see this happening with Japanese words being used outside of Japan. Like mochi. When we say mochi in Japanese, we mean rice cakes. To you though, mochi, you guys mean it as daifuku or gyuhi, like the sweet type. We have a way different word for that. You know, and then like there's the sushi names. Like who decided to name all those rolls? Like, you know, sometimes English speakers or like people from other countries come to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I love sushi, I love dragon rolls. And I'm like, what the heck is a dragon roll? That is not a thing here in Japan. So, if you didn't know that dragon rolls aren't a thing here, that's something new for you. We don't know what dragon rolls are. Like you guys name like such interesting ways. You have such an interesting way to make, like, to name all those sushi rolls, whatever rolls, but like we don't call them whatever rolls. We have actual names, like different names for it. Yeah. Also, we don't fry our sushi here, okay? Although fried sushi, I've tried it before. The ones with cheese in it. Ooh, those are actually pretty good. That was invented in California. Spicy tuna roll too? What? Oh yeah, like we don't, like spicy, like putting spicy stuff on sushi is not a thing. Sriracha is not Japanese. I mean, obviously, but yeah. We just don't put, like, peppers on sushi. What even is a dragon roll? Oh, Haki-san, you gotta look it up. You gotta look it up. そう。これ英語でも起こってるんですよ。そのね、アパートとマンションの違いみたいなね。マンションっていうのは豪邸のことですね。ホンテッドマンションって言ったら分かりやすいんじゃない？ホンテッドマンションって大きいお屋敷じゃないですか。What about ラー油寿司? You guys have ラー油寿司? What? Okay, but volcano roll is actually good. Okay, I'm guessing, I never had a volcano roll, but I am guessing that there's mozzarella cheese sticks in it, and then it's probably coated with something spicy, like, I don't know, Cheetos. Because that's what Americans do. California is wild sometimes when it comes to sushi. I've seen sushi monstrosities in Indonesia. Indonesia, not you too! Come on! インドネシアでも面白いお寿司があるんです。あ、まあでもね。No cheese, crab stick and avocado. They totally missed the opportunity though. Like, if they're gonna name their sushi volcano, at least they have to have a way to imitate the lava coming out. No, I'm just joking. Okay. I can never tell. I have to go all the way to Singapore to check it out. Okay. マンションとアパートの違い。マンションは英語では豪邸という意味です。わかりやすい覚え方はディズニーのホンテッドかな、ホンテッドマンションってもの。Let's see if I have a. Okay. That was hot sauce and touch burn the toppings though. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But then they should still add the cheese in it. Oh, yeah, and also Japanese sushi, like, we don't serve them hot. They're supposed to be like, not cold, but cold enough that this fish stays fresh. Canned crab, I think? Not crab stick. Canned crab? Oh, aren't those expensive? Crab sticks aren't, though. Imitation crab, you mean, probably? Imitation crabs are the crab sticks. Canned crabs are actual crabs. お店を探してますが、I am looking for a store です。looking の代わりに searching が使えないのでしょうか。探すというと search のイメージなので、look と結びつけづらくて、あらー、これ面白いやつですね。What's the difference between look and search? If I were to explain it, I would say look is when you are just looking, like maybe like scanning or something. Search is when you are digging deep down. Search is when you go look for a treasure. So you search for a treasure. Look, a lot more lighter than that. I went to Fukui Museum the other day and learned about the old type sushi. Ooh, how old? Oh, so yeah, sushi wasn't always fresh fish. Sushi was a thing for a long, long time. If you think about it, I mean, it would make sense though, right? It's only been in recent years that the refrigeration system became a thing, and so now we have easier access to fresh fish, but in the olden days, that was not the case. That is why sushi rice has vinegar in it. Vinegar in order to prevent the food from going bad. And so in the olden days, sushi didn't always have raw fish in it or on it. It had different ingredients. Or even like not like fermented fish, but like pickled fish and stuff too. You can still eat the old style. You can still get like the old style sushi at restaurants or even as ikiben, like, you know, the bento that you get in stations. I believe Kyoto or Nara should have kakinoha sushi as a souvenir. There's sushi that is like wrapped in persimmon leaves that has like not really pickled, I would say marinated fish on sushi rice. It's probably very different from the sushi that you're used to, and I wouldn't say that I'm the biggest fan of it taste-wise, but I think it would be a really cool way to like enjoy the culture and the history of sushi. So Imperial age old, I mean it's fermented fish. Oh, then yes. Did I hear Singapore? Yes. There's a bunch of you Singaporeans here. Tuna fish, I think. Oh, funazushi. I believe I've had it before. I don't know. But yeah, so that's a little bit about sushi. Sushi. Okay, again, what's the difference between looking and searching? Looking and searching. What? It's so hard to type like this. What's the difference? Look. Search. Okay. I don't know if Master can. Thought I heard something. So what is the difference between look and search? I feel like, again, look is when you're looking for things normally, and search is when you're trying to like look for something deep down. りします。かなり広範囲であったり、深いタイプの生活。Okay. I agree with Sensei on the look and search difference. Yay! Well, so this is how I responded. Look is to like just look. It's more surface level. 表面的かも。狭いってなんだっけ。あった。強範囲出てこないんだよ。I'm trying to like type in 強範囲 but it doesn't come up. 強範囲。Okay. So, how about to see, look, watch, search, find? To see, to look, to watch, to search, to find. That is hard. Well, find is an easy one because that I feel like is different. Find is when you actually like figure out the thing that you were looking for. And so that's the result of the action, I believe. Like, you know, like that is my take on it. Search and look, again, that was the difference. Like, search is when you do a deep dive into what you're looking for. Watch is, I think like the difference between watch and see is that when you're seeing things, you are not intentionally trying to like, it's not intentional. You're just like seeing, you know? I don't know, like it's so hard to explain, but watch is intentional. Like you are putting your focus on it. At least that is my take on it, but what do you think? Try to explain those words. I actually used to do this as a practice too. If you are trying to learn a different language, this is what I used to do with English. I used to try to describe a word in English like I am a dictionary myself. Just like I am doing here with you, like look and search the difference of it. Because when you are trying to describe a word, you will have to be able to compare and contrast, and you will also have to be able to know the ways, know the words in order to describe things. And you don't always need to have an extra the plus I type, like I plus one type information in terms of language. You can use the knowledge that you already have, and you can still try to like utilize the knowledge that you have. And I think that is a really good practice to do. So if you're learning a language, that's another way to do it. Or if you want to implement that. It has been very helpful for me, but I don't really know anybody else who suggests this type of practice. So I don't really know like if this is a well-known thing or if this is something that I've invented. No idea. Semantics, my favorite type of wordplay. You must be into linguistics. Hi. そう、今やってるみたいに、私、こうやってたまにね、その上手ではないし、間違ってる可能性もあるから気をつけないとではあるんですけど、言葉をね、説明するっていうことをすることがあるんですけど、これ言語学習されてる方、割といい練習になったりするから、おすすめではあります。やってみてね。OK。Moving on. Not to you, son. Picked up on how to use de ください today. 入らないでください。しないでください。吸わないでください。つけないでください。Yes. So, でください。てください。て and で。The biggest difference lies in the particles. てください is when you ask, please. But then, でください is usually used when you are trying to tell the other person no. So, now I'm more of a science guy. It's just that when you're on the internet for long enough, you'd realize people are arguing using the same words that meant different things to each side. But when you think about it, linguistics is a science of languages, so you are on the right track, don't you think? I directed Zatsudan Haishin with JapGPT the other day. I'm still confused how za and dan became Zatsudan. Zatsu and dan. Zatsu can mean like random stuff. Dan, talk. Random talk. Free talk. Here you go. Dissected. I see. Dissected. Oh, didn't know about the te and de difference for kudasai. Yes! Now you know, because te, when you say te kudasai, you're simply using the te form. You know? And so it's a positive, it's affirmative. Saying, like, ゲームをしてください. You would not say ゲームをしないでください. No. The easiest way to memorize this is that when you use でください, it is always negative. You're trying to say no to things. でください, please. So here. Let's look. Oh, here, sorry. 入らないでください. Do not enter. Please don't enter, right? May I enter this room? Please don't enter. 入らないでください. If I were to use てください here, I would change it into 入ってください. 入ってください. Affirmative, positive. ゲームをしてもいいですか? してください. Please do. タバコを吸ってもいいですか? 吸ってください. Please do. Which people wouldn't say that. People would probably say, いいですよ。どうぞどうぞ。いや、エアコンつけてもいいですか? エアコンをつけてください. Yep. そうね。So yeah, that's the difference. Good job though. It's nice when you realize this. Okay, I do have to say that I am interested in semantics. Establishing a singular meaning of words will reduce potential misunderstanding that would arise later. True. No point being on the same page when they're reading different books. I like that. You're so right. So right. You know, I truly believe, like, some people might make fun of me for saying this, but I truly believe that if everybody can try to learn a different language, like, it doesn't even have to be a certain language. It doesn't have to mean that we all have to learn English or like Chinese or Spanish in terms of what the rankings of how many people speak in this world type of languages. It's more of like, I really think that if we all try to learn a different language, we're all gonna realize how much of a misunderstanding can not knowing a different language would cost. And I don't know, I really feel like world peace could be achieved a lot easier. Next, みそみさんです。私は海で泳ぐのが楽しみです。あら、この場合、I'm looking forward to swimming in the sea になりますが、そういえば ocean to sea の違いがわからない。This is the word that I always confuse myself with too. I'm looking forward to swimming in the sea. What is a more natural way of saying that? And also, what's the difference between ocean and sea? I need to know this too. Yeah, learning a language helps with seeing their perspective to me. Me too. Like, you know, I think I said this before, but sometimes I go out and I meet people, especially tourists, who would come to me and might say certain things that would come off as rude if a Japanese person was talking to me. But then, knowing that they're probably not a native speaker of Japanese, it's really easy for me to not get mad at them and just be like, you know, I'll just answer their question in English. I don't know if that's the best way to go about things, but yes. Ocean is bigger sea. Hi, Miregoy-san. Like Pacific Ocean. So ocean is bigger. Ocean okay. Learning a new language forced awareness on the fact that there is a gap between what we think, say, here, perceive. Yes. Oh, and like this is something that I've been thinking of like this whole week, this past week, because it's also something that I'm trying to like study right now. But the huge difference in schema that we have. Just say cucumber, because that's the easiest one that I can come up with. Like cucumber. In my mind, when people say cucumber, I think of Japanese cucumbers. They're thinner, they're more like dense. They definitely have more of like a bitterness to it sometimes. But then I'm pretty sure when a person from a different country, in this case like probably a person from the American continent, when they hear the word cucumber, they will probably imagine that like bigger, more thicker type of cucumber. And so even just the little vegetable that we talk about, there's a huge gap between it. Like when I just say that I'm trying to explain a recipe to you, and if I say a certain vegetable name, like the vegetable, even though they do have the same name, might mean or feel something very different to us. They might taste very different depending on the continent or even the region that we live in. Okay, I think you can say ocean when talking about the bigger body of water like Pacific Ocean, while sea is a part where the ocean meet land. Where the ocean meet land. Oh, okay, now sea is smaller to beach. Similar to beach. No, then yeah, you're right. And you're in that description, sea and beach sounds very similar. I think like it is when you said something along the lines of like when the ocean meets the land. Maybe when the ocean meets the sand, that is beach, but when ocean meets the land, that is ocean. I don't know. We hunt game. Game. How should I call you? Hi, we hunt games, son. Sensei, konbanwa. Konbanwa. I just saw a stream is happening. Welcome. We're talking about different words. What is the difference between sea and ocean? 海と太陽。太平洋の太陽。確かにでかいですよね。Negi and leeks are not the same either. I know! It was so hard when I first moved to the States when I realized that, and I was like, how am I supposed to make my normal dishes? Turns out that you just have to adapt and you learn recipes when you move countries. It's me, Hunter. It is you, Hunter. Okay. Hi, Hunter. Welcome. So my answer should be ocean is bigger. Ocean の方が大きい。sea の方が小さい。コメントで教えてもらいました。Ocean has no land mass. Sea is somewhere close to land. Oh, okay, that is so easy to understand. Thank you. Ocean. 海。水。Sea. 陸に近い海。陸と接していることもある。She already has an acrylic stand. You know what? I should probably post these more often. Yeah, I have an acrylic stand. It's on my Pixit booth that I do not advertise often enough. I probably only advertise it about like once a year. So yeah, I do have merch. I have merch. そう、アクスタ実はあるんです。そう、なんか、あんまりにもね、宣伝が下手なの。I'm like really bad at advertising things. Like so bad. Whenever I try to like think of advertising, like this part of me that is like very self-aware, not self-aware, comes out, and I go like, but maybe like there's not that many of the people, or if there might be nobody who wants it, and then I get really like sad and I just don't. But I do have an acrylic stand. It's on my Pixit booth. The link is somewhere. I didn't even realize you had added the new outfit at some point. I know, it's so bad. I like secretly announced it in a very small stream that was probably just a Zatsu stream, and I have never announced it ever since, but I do have my new outfits on there too. I know, I need to get better at this. So, also Meido-chan, if you forgot, it's me, Hunter of YouTube from Twitch. Oh, you're Hunter from Twitch. Okay. I am nothing but a meme. No, I remember you. Thank you for finding me here. I know you found me on YouTube first, but thank you for finding me here too. はい。ということで、かがさん、海賊王に俺はなる。真実はいつも一つ。諦めたらそこで試合終了だよ。真実はいつも一つ。諦めたらそこで試合終了だよ。Good job! タラタララタラタララタラタラララタラララあれ歌詞あるんですってね。タララタラタララタラタララララララタラララララララララタラタラタララララララララララララララポロトロトタラララってね。わあ、なる。Great job. Love these series, except I've never watched some. Don't okay. Good job. By the way, again, 俺は wa that comes after the subject of the sentence is always the katakana, hiragana, ha. It's pronounced wa, but it's written ha. This is also the reason why konnichiwa is not always written konnichiwa, as in like this wa, but in the katakana, hiragana, ha. 真実は、俺は, and I probably don't point this out often enough, but although Japanese has an SOV sentence structure, what is most important about Japanese is knowing which particle to combine with the words, with the nouns, with the words. And so you can actually switch words within the sentences, unlike English or like Chinese that you have to follow the same sentence structure. And if you mess up, like, you know, the placement of the words, I'm pretty sure you're not going to get the same meaning, right? In Japanese, as long as you get the particle right, you get the same meaning. It does give a different nuance, but the meaning will always be the same. So, 海賊王に俺はなる, that is Luffy saying that he's going to be a pirate king, right? If I were to say this in a more dictionary textbook form Japanese, it would be 俺は海賊王になる. But in this sense, Luffy probably, or the creator, wants to emphasize on the fact that he wants to be a pirate king, and that is why 海賊王, the word 海賊王 is at the very beginning of the sentence. But the subject is still on 俺, which is Luffy. So hope you know that. これですね、日本人我々も忘れがちっていうか知らないがちなんですけど、日本語って実は文型っていうのをガチガチに固めなくてもいい言語なんですよね。珍しいタイプの。よくね、SVO だとか SOV だとかいろいろ言うと思うんですけれども、別に主語、目的語、述語っていうのをいつもフォローしなくてもいいんですよ。例えば、海賊王に俺はなるね。これ、教科書日本語でいくと、俺は海賊王になるわけなんですよ。でも日本語って、言葉とその後に来る助詞の組み合わせが正しければ、ぶっちゃけ、組み合わせっていうか、順番を適当にしても意味が通じちゃうんですよね。逆にですよ、英語とかいう言語でこれをしてしまったら通じなくなる。英語だったり、例えば中国語だったり、私中国語ができるわけではないんですけれども、一切わかんないんですけど、そういう言語で この順番をごちゃごちゃにしてしまったら意味が変わってしまいます。なのでそれは気をつけましょう。そう。Me unable to understand likes listening to Mizuki yap in English and Japanese either way. Okay, thank you. たこ焼き。外国の方はたこ焼きをサムライボールと呼ぶと聞いたことがありますが、本当でしょうか？マジで？ such は後に続く言葉が as の時と and の時の意味がガラッと変わるようですね。鬼畜の所業では仕業ではそっくりすぎます。そっくりですね。でも日本語のはとね、がとかもそういうもんですからね。You all know what takoyaki is, right? 皆様たこ焼きはわかります？ What is takoyaki called in English? Is it really called samurai balls? Is it not octopus balls? Or takoyaki? Takoyaki? Taco squid. Ugh, sorry. Hunter-san, it's octopus. Or octopi. So it's called takoyaki here. Oh, okay. That's easier for me to understand at least. たこ焼き美味しいですからね。たこ焼き大好き。Love たこ焼き。たこ焼きはね、ちなみにね、シャバシャバで作ると、ふわとろってちゃんとなりますからね。覚えておいてね。Okay. Astro-san! Thank you for joining! Just like how sushi is sushi. Nice. 地震安全場所移動。地震が起こった時にはまず安全な場所に移動することが大切です。本当に大切です。大切です。大切ですよ。My country poured dog. I bought takoyaki store bought and I ended up with takoyaki but instead of octopus I got cheese inside. Cheese. I love cheese in takoyaki, but I think that just like proves that the idea of like what is cheaper food wise is so different. In Japan, if we put cheese in takoyaki, it will be so expensive. Most of the cheese that is imported here, so maybe that's why. But, you know, cheese is more expensive though, right? For us, cheese is more expensive. Octopus is expensive in Indo. You're also from Indonesia? Cheese and takoyaki is so good. No! So, cheese 入ってるたこ焼き大好き. No, it's takoyaki without the taco. Don't worry, like, when I was the poorest college student, poorest uni student, I would make takoyaki without taco and I would just put like spam in it. I know, spam, because those were the cheapest meat to find. Hey, it was actually pretty decent. As long as it's like formed similar, I think it's fine. すごい。たこ焼きのタコの代わりにね、チーズが入ってたりするんですって。他の国ではそっちの方が安いから。我々からしてみたらね、タコよりチーズの方がよっぽど高いから。やっぱね、違うんですよね。国でいいな。Fried spam and takoyaki sounds amazing. You know what? It was pretty good. Next! 次行きますか。Okay. I'm unsure if I managed to translate Kento asked something, but I did not understand probably. Kento さんが何か聞きましたが、私はわかりませんでした。You did amazing. Absolutely amazing. You are so good. But I can teach you a way to make it more. Okay, let's do this. Your sentence is perfect. Absolute perfection. But can't think that would make this more natural. And 私にはわかりませんでした。にはmeans には is a joint particle. example that would give more emphasis. This makes art. I didn't. Not. Oh wait, that's not art. Emphasize. So yeah, you can say ケントさんが何か聞きましたが私にはわかりませんでした。So yes. Your sentence is perfect, absolutely perfect in terms of grammar. Like that's perfect. But again, if you want to make it more natural, I might say 私にはわかりませんでした。Others might understand, but I couldn't understand it. Like you can imply that by just adding には instead of just saying 私は. Interesting, right? I know. I really need to make videos on particles. I need more time. Kind of my fault that I started like the studying thingy. If only I didn't do that, I would have actually more time. Yes. So speaking of takoyaki, during my time in Taiwan, in one of the night markets, I found a stall that made oyster omelets. Where they shaped the egg into takoyaki with the inside being oyster. Excuse me, what? That sounds amazing. The cheap one here would be sausage, and there barely any meat in there. Hey, it probably still tastes good. I heard people using niwa, but I never knew it means that. Thank you. Yay, glad that you were able to learn something new. But yes, it is emphasis. It is putting emphasis, and also if you use it for somebody that you respect, it can mean that you're respecting them. Like, just say that you want to say something like, you know, oh, I take good care of you. Mizuki 先生にはいつもお世話になってます。You know, instead of saying 水木先生にお世話になってます。If you say には, it just adds that like respectfulness to it, so you can use it towards me. Good job, thank you. Next! 次。Relief っていろんな意味があるのですね。彫刻のような浮き彫りの印象があります。レリーフね。緩和や安堵、なるほど。たくさん意味があると覚えるのが大変です。レリーフね。Relief。なんて言うんだろうな。これは多分、レリーフの、このレリーフって、違うスペルなんじゃないかな。So, hang on, would Meido be able to read Mandarin a bit? Considering Hanzi and Kanji or whatever its your writing utilities are relative to same? Yes and no. Well, it depends on which country or region you're talking about. I visited a few places before, and for example, like Mandarin, when they use the simplified kanji, like the simplified characters, I don't understand most of them because like I can't really, it doesn't really make sense to me like what they are trying to, like what the letters are originally were like. So the Japanese, okay, well, history time, yay. When the letters, the kanji was brought into Japan, that was like, you know, like olden times, way more than 1,000 years ago. The letters that were brought in was from Han, the Han dynasty, right? That is why it's kanji. Very old language, very different from the modern day Chinese languages. From what I understand, it's a lot more closer to Cantonese than Mandarin. And so I've visited a few places in the past. I have also visited Hong Kong, and I have realized that a lot of the kanji that is used in Hong Kong, I can understand them. And so it doesn't mean that I understand them perfectly, but I can at least read the menu and be like, okay, this is probably what they are selling. But when it comes to simplified characters, like the ones that is used in mainland China, it's really hard for me to understand because they look very different, so different. pronunciation-wise, it looks like Cantonese also shares a lot of similarities between the way Japanese kanji is read. And so yeah, really depends. But then there's a few words that is, a lot more closer to Mandarin than Cantonese. So, just history stuff. Hi. So yeah, there's a lot of meanings in certain words. よいしょ。次。日曜日。リポスト。とりあえず食べましょう。とりあえずビールをください。階段を上がったら値上がります。山を登ったので疲れました。そう。試験の勉強ポチポチ始めています。いいですね。ポチポチ。あ。ポチポチ頑張りましょう。I see also before I forget a phrase I know in Japanese. みずきちゃん、今日も可愛い。ありがとうございます。今日も可愛いってことね。ありがたい、ありがたい。Thank you. Something went wrong. What? Oh, it's you. Okay, Astro さん。Great. なんかチーム綺麗すぎない？漢字文化圏の方なのかな？じゃないとちょっと、ねえ、説明つかないくらい綺麗じゃない？Are you from a country or region that uses kanji? Your handwritings are way too good. いや、ちょっと字綺麗すぎますよね。I mean, the handwritings are way too good. There's no such thing as way too good, but 綺麗すぎる。Good job. あ、最後。星がプリティですって？星はビューティフルだと思ってましたが、プリティも使うんですよね。そうです。What's the difference between beautiful and pretty? I feel like beautiful is like way too legit. The example sentence here was the stars are pretty on summer night. That is the Japanese sentence that I made that I translated into very like tacky English. Oh shoot, I forgot to mute. Mute するの忘れてた。So yeah, what's the difference between beautiful and pretty? At least like that's how I... What is the difference between beautiful and pretty? Pretty, pretty, pretty. Beautiful. Beautiful and pretty. I feel like pretty is a lot more casual. Beautiful is like... It has a deeper sense to it. バッグの美しさ。みたいな。Yeah, agreed. Do you agree? Good. Oh, I have something to say. Still watching that bathhouse stream. You're still watching the bathhouse stream? Gosh, can't watch it in the daytime because kawaii sound like a swear word in time. Really? No! And when I watch in the maid at my home look at me, when I watch it, the maid at my home look at me strange. Ah! No! Oh, but yeah, my bathhouse stream. You know what? Like, there's this part of me that I thought was going to, like, you know, I'm naive and I'm kind of like stupid, okay? I thought that playing a horror game stream was gonna attract so many people because I thought that I was gonna scream in a really cute, girly type of a way. I thought I was gonna scream like, Kee! Turns out that I'm like the mammoth meme. I scream like, ah! So yeah, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to like get extra subscribers from my horror streams because I scream like a mammoth. そう。あ、かつきさん、はい。そうなんですよ。なんかね。地獄戦闘私ね、ちょっと期待してたところがあった。嘘はつきません。なんか可愛く、キャンみたいな感じの悲鳴で視聴者さん釣れるんじゃねって思ってた部分が私にもありました。アーカイブ見返してみたらなんかマーモットみたいに、わーみたいなね。何叫び方。もうちょっと可愛く叫べないのびっくりしちゃった。もう本当に。So, I'm still in 2024 since I found your channel very recently, but I'll catch up still. You're still in 2024? No worries. You're gonna be catching up very, very soon. Very manly stream. I didn't think that my screams were gonna be that manly. Gosh. So, well, that is it for all the posts. Maybe not all, but most of the posts. いや、素晴らしいですね。皆様、本当に Thank you so much for all the posts because they really make my day. Also makes me feel like I really have to study harder. But that is what I need. Which is what I need. ということでね、皆様本当にね、投稿いつもありがとうございます。Oops. You all are amazing. So proud of you. Yippee! ということで、no. There we go. I believe I went through most of the posts. ということでね、ほとんど言ったんじゃないかな、と思います。はい。かなと思います。It's fine. You teach us too, Mizuki. Yay. But yeah, so I believe we went through most of the posts and like the posts that I wanted to go through. So we're gonna move on to the third part 3, which is the proofread and Q&A. I'll probably take about 15 minutes, or if there's even more people or more questions, I'm willing to take 30 minutes. But if you have any questions on Japanese, anything cultural, anything that you actually want to practice with me, this is the time that you can comment. ということでね、第3パートに参ります。質疑応答タイム、あとですね、プルーフリード、つまり添削タイムでございます。もしですね、これ添削してほしいとか、英語に関する質問みたいなのありましたら、今、じゃんじゃん聞いてっていただければと思います。はい、どうぞ。It is your time to shine. The world is your oyster. I'm gonna drink some water. Cultural? Alright, where's the best place to go in Japan? I have no idea. I am so sorry, but I have absolutely no idea. That really depends. Japan is pretty diverse in terms of culture. You're probably like, diverse Japan, but no, I mean it when I say it. Like, just take miso or shoyu, right? Depending on which part of Japan you're from, the type of miso that you would use or the type of soy sauce that you would use would be very different. And so, Gifu is kind of fun. Gifu? I mean, sure. Yeah, I've never been there before, but yeah. Yeah, you probably don't want to ask a Japanese person that because, like, at this rate, looking at how many tourists we have in Japan, I'm pretty sure most of the tourists have already like been so many other places in Japan than I ever have. For cultural, I mean. Oh, I see. If you like ancient Japan, like when it all started type of Japan, go to places like Shimane, Tottori, where no one speaks English. If you are a first timer, I know people say that it's overhyped or whatever, but stay in Tokyo. One thing people don't realize is how Japan is such like how much Japanese people don't speak English. I guess if you stay in Tokyo though, like you will be able to go around mostly without having to know a lot of Japanese, but if you come to the countryside, it's going to be really hard. Like you can still go around, but you probably won't be able to receive the same type of interaction or customer service that you will be able to get in places like Tokyo, where a lot of people do speak English. But yeah, the over-tourism is putting a lot of stress and work on a lot of workers, and so that's the thing, isn't it? Well, we'll see, but yeah. はい、文通になんて読むんだっけこれ忘れちゃったがあった場合は接続しないけど関係がある繋がった文章として捉えて OK ですか？そうですね。あとですね、これ、セミコロンって言うんだっけ？なんて言うんだっけセミコロンだ。そうだ。これはですね、よくリストを作るときとかに使われるんですよ。正直、それとかが一番多いんじゃないかな。リストに使ったり、リストっていうのがね、例えば、論文とか書いてるとき、そういうね、タイプの文章を書いてるときに、例えば、こうの例えばの後をそこに入れるとかね。めちゃくちゃ簡単な例を言うと、日本にはたくさん美味しい食べ物があります、セミコロン。で、セミコロン。卵サンド、唐揚げ、お寿司、お好み焼きみたいな感じでリストアップしたり、あと、なんて言うんですっけ、同じような、類語じゃなくて類文章みたいなのをね、書くときにも使えます。そう、だから接続してないけど関係のある繋がった文章っていうのは合ってます。文と文を繋ぐときにも使えるのでね。Well, I thought I'd be better to ask locals for things like where to get the most authentic dishes or whatnot. Most authentic dishes. That really depends on what you consider authentic to be. Because some people really like, you know, like going to places where the locals would go. Like that is what their view of authentic is. Or some people like to go places that is very culturally, like that has a really deep cultural heritage, and so really depends. Tokyo Shibuya feels Sukuna's presence. Hand sign works. Trust me, I traveled to Japan since 1997. Before I was born? What? As someone that is recently playing FP5X? What is P5X? So some of the locations do look nice, frankly. Lately, I'm lazy and use machine translate and show them screen. Then what's the point of you studying with me? 美術館で古い鏡の服にのアリス見てたら、セミコロンが多用されていて、となってました。ね、確かになんか最近っていうわけではないんですけど、なんとなくモダンな文章にはあんま使われてないイメージ確かにありますわね。なんかそれこそ論文とか、なんて言うんだろう、なんか科学的なものとかには使われてるイメージ多いんですけど、小説とかに使われるってなったら多用はあんまりないんじゃないかなと思いますね。P5X Persona 5. Oh, have you seen Dress Up Darling Season 2? What? Dress Up Darling? Since I'm trying to write, the weather report said that tomorrow's temperature is 8 degrees. That is freezing cold. In Japanese, but I'm not sure. Is 天気予報は明日の気温が8度と言ってました or not? Did I get it correctly? 完璧です You did it perfect. Wait, let's do that since we were already on it. Oh, where is it? Oops. Okay, one thing though, I know this is so confusing, isn't it? It's more natural to use this number 8. Yeah, so this is grammatically perfect. But since you're already here, I will be teaching you other ways too. Other ways that you can say this. You can also say 天気予報に夜と明日の気温は8度です。Okay, this is what I want you to remember. に夜とに is the particle. It will all most likely be に. So just memorize it as に夜と。に夜と according to. So the first sentence that you made, that would really mean, like you said, the weather report said that tomorrow's temperature is 8 degrees. But if you were to say that more naturally, you would probably use something along the lines of according to. So, によると according to the weather report, 天気予報によると明日の気温は8度です。And that will make it a lot more natural. Hope that helps. But the sentence that you made, that was already perfect. Like perfection. Perfection. So it's a shame some places in Japan hate tourists or whatnot because some people can't seem to understand etiquette. Okay, I have a lot of things to say about that. Well, like I said, I had to travel to places like Kyoto pretty recently, and I do have to admit, yeah, I think that's over tourism is really bad, and I can see how the locals are really upset about it and stuff, but a lot of people actually don't hate tourists. And I do realize how racist some signs seem to be, but that is really not common. Really not common. And I think there's a lot of things that is missed in again, lost in translation type stuff. You know that you see those posters and signs that says something along the lines of no tourists. Yeah, just those are probably racist. People don't go there. But if a sign says something along the lines of we can only serve people who speak Japanese, a lot of those are probably very local establishments. Probably stuff that a grandma does. Imagine a really small restaurant that a local grandma owns that usually neighbors are going to be the only customers there. And so I know some of those people that are really scared of tourists, not in the sense that they're scared of people of other races. They're more scared about not being able to communicate well. They're more scared about not being able to deliver the same level of customer service. And so they just put up that sign saying we only can serve people that speaks Japanese. And I think they should be able to explain it a little bit better even on signs. But yeah. It's also the same with a lot of beauty salons and stuff. There's a nail salon that I go to all the time, and the person said that, she does get a lot of requests via phone call or email saying that they want their service, and the only thing she can say is that I can't serve you because I don't speak English or I don't speak your language. And that is because sometimes when there's a huge language barrier, even when you use translation, especially when it comes to beauty stuff like hair or nails, it can be really traumatizing on both sides. And so it's really hard, isn't it? I think things are already changing. You already see a lot of places that offers English services. And so yeah, I don't know how things are gonna go in the future, but a lot of people really aren't racist. You see a lot of racists on the internet, but the internet is a really weird place. like, I never really met an actual racist person in Japan so far, and I'm saying that, like, even when my husband is non-Japanese. Like, I have met landlords who are like, yeah, we don't do foreigners, but, like, the moment that we were able to explain that my husband actually speaks Japanese and he actually has a job and stuff, things were actually okay. A lot of landlords just say that they don't do foreigners because they feel like they can't communicate, but once you explain to them that your Japanese is pretty decent, they're pretty okay with it. It was more hard finding a place that would accommodate bigger dogs than having a foreigner as a partner. So, yeah, there's that. Yes, I took 3 minutes to write that Japanese sentence on keyboard. Typing Japanese is still hard to do. I know, typing is so hard, isn't it? It takes so long to get used to. I talked to a lot of grandma though, especially Osaka side has very active おばあちゃん。おばあちゃん、大阪のおばちゃんはね。We all love Osaka おばちゃん. I saw a picture with a stop sign, 止まれ, but my dictionary also shows 止まる, read とどまる. Is this a conjunction of the same form and not 止める, やめる or some third reading? That will be a third reading. And yeah, 止まれ, re, you know, that's the order form. You are being ordered to stop. So やめる, yeah, やめる. Yeah, they're all very different. They all have different meanings. They just share the same kanji to use. So yes, you're right. They're different words, different meanings. You ask me why? I wish I could explain it to you, but my explanation skills are trying to explain. I don't have that good of a skill to explain why yet. I will one day be able to explain why. I mean, I can kind of explain why, but I would say good luck. But this is why I always say, memorize the word first and not the kanji first. Always keep in mind, Japanese already had a spoken language before the letters came in. And so what a lot of people did, well, what our ancestors, I guess, did was to try to fit in the kanji to the words that were already existing. And so now we have this kanji for this, you know, 止まる kanji that can describe a lot of words that we already had. And so you see what's going on? You have all these words, like, you know, in a sense, synonyms that could be used, that can use this one kanji that means all of it. And so that is why there's a lot of kanji that is shared among so many different words that does mean something very similar, but in reality, they don't really necessarily mean the same thing. If they mean the exact same, you wouldn't need synonyms, right? And so yes, 止まる, とどまる, やめる, they all mean something very different. 止まる means to stop. とどまる means to stay. やめる means to stop doing. 止まる in this case would be to like stop, like physically stop what you're doing, like stop your action type of stop. So yeah, memorize the words first and not the kanji. Kanji can come later, especially if you're not living in Japan right now. So if I had to guess, do you teach husbando Japanese? Husbando teach Meido English? Nope. I wish he would actually teach me English. Now he sometimes does make fun of my pronunciation, but that's the extent to it. Nope. Hi. But yeah, good question though. Good question. Okay, anything else? 他にご質問ありますか？ありますか？ Thank you, no problem. No problemo. なかったらね、私は寝ます。If not, I going to go to bed. You all deserve a good night's sleep. そうですか。なかったらね。It's fine for me to be here? Of course. Of course ですわよ。You wanna do a little bit of a chit chat? ちょっと雑談して寝ます？ Oh, no! I think I lost a few subscribers in the past. Oh. Wait, what? It says that I am currently at 9,880. I didn't take class and keep yapping though. What do you think? Like, people not coming is the worst because then I feel useless. People being here makes me feel like I'm being useful, so please stay. At which point would you recommend someone start learning the kanji? I'm at like day 20 of 2024, but I'm very interested currently, so I keep trying to analyze and remember the different kanjis. So there's two ways of learning kanji or studying kanji. A lot of the professional Japanese teachers would tell you to just like go with, you know, for example, just say JLPT textbooks or memorize the kanji that would appear a lot in everyday life because here's the thing. Like, Japanese education is honestly it's a fairly new thing. Like, yeah, there were Japanese teachers in history from like, you know, the Edo period and stuff, but it hasn't really been that popular of a language for a lot of people to learn. English has always been popular, like French has always been popular, Chinese has always been popular, Spanish because think of the amount of population. Japanese has never really been that popular of a language until pretty recently. And so a lot of people would usually suggest that you would learn Japanese and kanji that would appear a lot in everyday life because the population, the percentage of the people that would try to learn Japanese were people who were coming into Japan to work or to study. And so a lot of people weren't studying Japanese to, you know, like as a hobby. So, I'm back. I just survived the attack of the lag monsters. No, not the lag monsters. But yeah. And so that's why a lot of Japanese teachers would recommend you to just learn kanji that would be like, I don't know, like densha, train, kinshi, do not, you're prohibited from, or like iriguchi, entrance, deguchi, exit, because those are something that is crucial for you to survive in Japan, and that is the type of education that was needed and is needed right now especially because of the big rise of immigrants. But one thing that is very different from a lot of the Japanese learning population around the world versus the type of people that comes to my streams is that a lot of you are learning Japanese as a hobby and not as a survival skill in order to like survive your life in Japan. And that is what a lot of language schools in Japan would teach you. They would teach you survival skills. They don't just teach you languages. They'll teach you like how to write a contract, how to read a contract, how to, you know, like recognize letters like kinshi, do not enter, because otherwise you're gonna get in big trouble. And so you can go through that route, or if you have enough time in your hands, I would always say to go through the route of elementary school kids. Japanese elementary school, start from grade 1, start from the very beginning, start from the numbers. In Japan, when we learn kanji, we start learning with easy kanji. And when I mean easy, I mean kanji that has fewer strokes. There will be kanji that only consists of like 3 strokes or 4 strokes, you know? And the reason why I would recommend that is because if you look at a lot of kanji, there are combinations of other kanji that is smaller in size. So that is how we Japanese learn kanji. Let me show you. For example, since we already have this kanji, we're gonna go through this kanji. You see this? This kanji means something like right. It is used in words like akarui. I need to make this smaller. Just want dekaku shigite. Akarui. Akarui literally means bright. This kanji is a combination of these two kanjis. This kanji means sun or day, and this kanji means the moon. Makes total sense, doesn't it? The kanji for bright is a combination of these two kanjis that means sun and moon because they are bright. And so in Japan, in elementary school grade 1, you will learn, for example, the kanji for sun and then the moon. And once you're done with that, you can finally move on to kanjis like bright because you already know the parts that consists of the kanji bright. And so in Japan, we learn kanji like building blocks. That's why it's so much easier for us than people who has to survive their life in Japan. Because we take time and we go through all of those steps. So if you actually have the time to do so, I would recommend you going through this route because things will make so much more sense. It might take time, but things will make sense. Hi. So do you think there's a beauty in not understanding a language? Because I get real annoyed if I understood a song lyrics and it turns out to be gibberish nonsense. I don't know, I never really thought about that. I'm always the type that wants to know what it means. But those ain't fun. It's super fun here. Yay! At least you think that it's fun here. I really like it. But I'm pretty sure a lot of schools are actually fun. Do the schools ever teach kanji in isolation or does it do it through vocabulary? Always through vocabulary. We never learn it through isolation because it will not make sense at all. So when we learn a kanji, we will at least learn like 5 or 6 words that comes with it. And those are the words that is going to be on the test too. Because like just remembering the kanji is not going to do any good for any of us. So yeah, again, don't just learn the kanji. That is not going to be any good. Always memorize within the vocabulary. Memorize the vocabulary first and then attach the kanji to it. That has to be the way to go. Oh, that makes sense. I noticed that when day and daytime is mentioned, I noticed they use the sun kanji. Yes, because the sun is up when it's daytime, right? I see. Thank you very much. I'll try looking at some elementary textbooks. Yes, and you can even go online and look for elementary school grade 1 kanji, and there will be plenty of online free materials. Other kanji is a combination of other kanji. It's Mandarin Hanzi characters all over again. Because it's basically like, you know, sister stuff. Like we all started with the same letters, right? So yeah. Good question. So 日本語でね、やっぱ一番難しいのって漢字、まあ一番難しいかどうかはわかんないですけどね。割と漢字難しいんだろうなと思います。あとですね、日本語教育っていうのが割と新しい分野なんですよね。言語教育っていうのはもともといくらでもあった分野なんですけど、でも日本語教育ってもともと必要とされてる人たちが移民の方だったりだったから、こういう英語的な感じでなんか趣味で学ぶみたいな人たちにとってはちょっとなんかやりにくい教え方とか教わり方っていうのが主流なんじゃないかなっていうのが私の思うところでして、漢字はね、私的に時間さえあるのであれば小学校1年生からこうやって日、月っていうのを覚えてから明るいっていう漢字をね、妙の漢字をね、覚えるみたいにするのが一番いいんじゃないかなって思うんですよ。時間さえあればね。でも日本っていう国で 生き延びなきゃいけない人たちにとってはそんなんしてる時間ないんですよね。だから先に、例えば時刻表っていう漢字を覚えたり、電車とか、入り口、出口とか、侵入禁止とか、それこそ日本で仕事をするっていう方にとっては、例えば、なんかわかんない。立ち入り禁止はもちろんですけど、なんかそういうね、会社とか工場とかで使わないといけない漢字から覚えるんですよね。でも私はやっぱり時間さえあるのであれば小学校1年生からやるっていうのが一番ね、理解ができるんじゃないかなとは思うんですけど、すべての人がね、そうやって時間があるわけでもないからね、難しいものですよね。Yeah, learning how to make sentences out of new kanjis you learn helps with making it stick in your head. Yes, I think like if you just learn kanji, things are just not gonna make sense. It's not gonna stick. You need vocabulary with it. I remember hearing about a song in fake language that sounds like English but is completely meaningless. Oh, that sounds interesting. That'll be interesting. That'll be fun though. Okay. Y'all ready? 皆様どう? Anything else? If not, I think I'm going to bed. もしないようだったら、私そろそろ眠りにつこうかなと思います。Oh. We'll see if we'll actually reach 10k tomorrow. わかんない。明日、1万人。また減ってるし。Oh no, I lost another subscriber. Please like and subscribe and share. なんで一人減ってる。There's a rap song parody that made the sound like K-pop, but none of the words have meaning. Oh, interesting. That is interesting. はい。ってことでね。本日はここら辺にしようかなとは思うんですけれども。Bye. I like the opposite though, when it sounds like Japanese but it's actually an English word. You like very katakana ones? Katakana using songs? はい。ってことでね。なぜかチャンネル登録者の方減ってるんで、皆様チャンネル登録、高評価どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。なんか、いつになるんだろう、1万人。I have no idea when 1 million, like, I'm gonna get not 1 million, 10k. I mean, eventually I would love to be able to hit 1 million, but you know. Yeah. はい。いいかな。Again, I might do it's a huge might, but I might do a 10k 耐久配信. I don't know how to say 耐久配信 in English, like looking forward to getting 10k stream. Like I'm gonna do a little countdown until I get 10k. Oh, a countdown stream. That is probably what it is. A 10k countdown stream. そうだ、多分カウントダウンですね。明日ね、1万人耐久配信したいな。できるかなSo while I am asleep, it would be great if you could like share my content on Twitter or like Facebook or like Instagram or wherever you are on, and I really appreciate it. で、なんかわかんない。私が寝てる間にね、小人さんたちが、なんかわかんないけど、たくさんシェアしてくれたり、たくさんコメントしてくれたり、たくさんなんか知らない私のいない Facebook とか LinkedIn でもいいですよ。You can even share me on LinkedIn and I would not complain. And that'll be great. なのでね、はい、なんかいろいろしていただけたら幸いです。Okay, I'm gonna go to bed. では皆様、本日もありがとうございました。Thank you so much for being here. It is time for you to raise your paws and raise your hands. ということで皆様、挙手してください。お名前読みます。I'm gonna read out your names. はい。Okay, there you go. あかつきさん、かいさん、つねるおじさん、デルフィナさん、フェルディアさん、ノットユーさん、ダスティンさん、ハッキーさん。 Liden-san, Drewby-san, you were here? Time Tutorial-san. What is paw in Japanese? Last question, I'm sorry. Paw, well, it's more of like beans. Because we don't say paw, but we say nikukyu. Nikukyu. Friendship-san and not to you, son. Thank you so much for being here. ということで、これでみんなかな？あ、肉球。I was, but I arrived very late, so lurked. I see. Well, thank you so much for being here. ということでね、皆様も本当ありがとうございました。Thank you again for being here. では、またお会いいたしましょう。I shall see you again. おやすみなさい。Good night.